Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here on Thrill Ridez, formerly known as Midwest Coaster Fans. We're just talking about a couple of different things today. Primarily, some of you guys are probably wondering why we changed the name over from Midwest Coaster Fans over to Thrill Ridez. And give me 1 second here. I'm going to change over my camera because I'm having technical difficulties with my camera
Once
today.
again,
So now I'm going to be further away. I'm not getting enough light in here, but there we go. That's better, even though I'm further away. Thanks for joining us here, and please comment below what you guys think of the new change. We cannot reveal our logo yet. The main reason why we changed the name of our channel is because we were having a lot of difficulties getting on different lists for different events. We travel across the whole country now, and we wanted to expand our content throughout the actual world. Now you're fine, Joanne H. But the main thing is we wanted to reach more people. The other name was a little more difficult to type out and stuff. So we also wanted to cover not only coasters, but we wanted to cover flat rides, thrill rides of all things, including flat rides, including drop towers, including sky coasters and such like that. Am I having is my okay, now it's going fine. But yeah, we wanted to cover a variety of different things. So I find other things to be more thrilling than coasters now. Ever since Zach and I were able to ride Sky Coaster over at Fun Spot Kissimmee, it kind of opened our eyes to like more thrilling rides. And he actually rode Monster down at Pigeon Forge.
yep, Mountain Monster, so it's a whole series of free rides, but same thing though, basically.
Yeah, so we just wanted to cover a variety of things and dark rides. Dark rides are some of our favorite, and we have people out there that are dark ride enthusiasts, flat ride enthusiasts. They might like drop tower sky coasters, and they might like slingshots. We're gonna start riding slingshots across the country, even though they're kind of all the same. They might have different heights. We just had the world's tallest freestanding drop tower open in Orlando, and also the world's tallest slingshot. However, I need a partner in order to ride it with me out here, so I'm going to wait on the slingshot until at least a little bit later. But we thought it was time for a change, and obviously we're covering stuff over in Orlando. We're covering stuff over in the Midwest, the East Coast, the South, and I think it might have hurt us a little bit why people were kind of confused on why we were actually changing it. I mean, you guys can ask any comments you guys want on the change and everything, but it's going to allow us to do more content. So we're going to do like the top drop towers in the United States, the tallest drop towers, the tallest sky coasters, the tallest slingshots, stuff like that. My favorite dark ride, I have kind of a, I kind of have like a thing on that, but I think
Yeah,
my
same
my
way.
favorite.
It's really hard to decide on favorite dark ride, but some of the best ones though is like Spider-Man at Island Adventure or even Justice League Run on Six Flags Park is really nice.
Yeah, my favorite dark ride is probably Haunted Mansion over at. I haven't rode the other Haunted Mansions, but I love the detail, the attention to detail, even from the pre-show
Oh
to the
yes.
time that you're riding it. So a lot of people probably don't notice in the pre-show. You really have to pay attention, but there's actually a girl that hangs from the ceiling during the pre-show before you actually enter the Haunted Mansion. So it's kind of like a mix of a family friendly dark ride mixed with kind of a scary dark ride. It kind of has both elements on it. Also, I love Tower of Terror and I like Pirates of the Caribbean. So I like the older Disney rides. I like Rise of the Resistance, but I feel like it was a little overhyped and I wasn't too I wasn't I don't know. I guess we all have it, but
And then,
Earthquake
I
from
mean, and then we can't forget Green Gots either. Green Gots is a great example of combining a coaster and dark ride into one. And I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but that's still a great ride now.
Yeah, I definitely think that Escape from Green Gots is a really good because if you know the backstory of the Harry Potter series as well,
Yeah, if I don't.
oh, okay. So if you know the back story of the actual, you have to actually watch the movies. Green Gots is where they store a lot of the different things at. So it's kind of like a keeper for like valuable items.
I
And
figured
so
that
forth.
because it's a bank vault, so
Yeah, it's where I have to rewatch the movies again, but it's basically where Harry and all them go to grab something. So it's definitely a good mixture. And actually, it was manufactured the track by Intamin Rides. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but
I
Intamin
mean,
Rides is
yeah,
officially
Intamin
in
had
the
involvement in it. I forget who else. It's collaboration of many companies.
yeah. And I didn't get a chance to ride Earthquake from Universal Studios. I've actually watched POVs of it, and I'm kind of disappointed that Universal Studios got rid of that. I wish they would have kept some of the original attractions there from the original opening date. That's one thing I could say positive about Disney is that Disney keeps their old dark rides still going, whereas Universal changed it up. I think Earthquake used to be located. Where did Earthquake used to be located
I
at?
think Fast and Furious replaced it.
Okay, yeah, they should have just kept Earthquake there because Fast and Furious is horrible. So
It is. I didn't mind this past week, and now I'm good.
it's not even one of those rides where it's so horrible that it's good either.
Here's the thing: the queue line for it is better than the ride itself.
Yeah, that's true. The queue line definitely is a lot better than that, and I'm pretty sure our viewers would concur on that. If you guys ever been to it, the queue line is so immersive, and you get on the ride, and it's like a pre-show of like a party that makes absolutely no sense to the Fast and the Furious series. And then you go into basically a motion simulator that was built for a back lot, which we'll go more in detail on the worst dark rides or the worst rides at Universal. This is what's good about this channel as well, is we don't have to just talk about coasters. So we could go into a whole series of talking about like the worst dark rides or the worst rides at parks and stuff like that. So we don't have to just talk about coasters. And we all can Jimmy Fallon's a little bit better than it, but I think those two additions kind of ruined I think they ruined the park just a little tiny bit because the immersion, and then obviously Comcast learned their lesson. So
Oh yeah, I have a new name. Fast and Furious Super Dump.
you know, it's funny on here. It's not even saying that we have any live viewers yet, so maybe that counter's not right. So that's kind of weird, huh?
You know, I mean, we had one Johan, so who knows?
Is it Johan or is it Joanne?
Who knows?
But either way, it's one of those abbreviation or enunciations. I mean, but yeah, we're able to talk about more stuff like that. Like I know a lot of people on our team. I guess yeah, we all are into like theme parks, amusement parks, and stuff like that, and dark rides and fly rides. I mean, one of my favorite. Okay, I'm back. One of my favorite flat rides of all time is actually a scrambler. So every park that has a scrambler, I like to compare it to other parks. It's a classic ride. The fastest one I've been at so far is over at Indiana Beach, but I know that there's other parks that probably have faster ones. I just have not found them yet.
Oh, I do know a faster one.
Which one?
Circus Grove. That scrambler runs fast and runs long. So
Does it have one of the where does Velocicoaster fall on your all-time list? It's my number one. Zach's still debating if it's going to take over as number one or not.
see, I'm tempted to put it at number one and then make time travel at number zero.
Number zero.
Basically, it says you cannot beat it.
Well, the thing is, I think he has Time Traveler, but Time Traveler's queue is okay. But the Velocicoaster, even if you're in the extended queue, you have great views overlooking the Montessori Roll.
I never really got to wait in it for like more than like 5 minutes because it didn't get long enough somehow.
Yeah, and you have the Heartline Roll or the Montessori Roll. You have the second half's just amazing. You have the top hat element from the back gives you extreme airtime, and then you have.
Even the front car, you get sustained airtime on a top hat.
Yeah, I've never had a bad seat on that coaster. Now, obviously, the back seat's more intense than the front, but then the front also has a lot of ejector as well, especially in the first half. But I think the back gives you more ejector in the second half. So I think no matter where you ride at in that ride, I have not rode in the middle yet, though.
Yeah, I have. I mean, it's still good. Not as good, but it's still good though.
Okay, well that's good to know. But my favorite dark ride at that park, which is Universal Studios, I think both parks right now is ET. I just like classic dark rides. So
Which is good too.
and
I call it a classic.
it's cheesy too. Like the second half of it's so cheesy. It doesn't. A lot of people don't know the extended storyline of ET, but that's actually what his home planet looks like. And there was actually a short film or cartoon that actually showcased that, but a lot of ET fans never got to see it because they only saw the first movie. So the second half kind of throws people off. And then I like how it does name recognition. So what you don't know about it, and we could talk about it later, but they don't actually type your name in anything. They basically find your name. So they'll type like 2 letters, find your name, click on it. They have over 50,000 names stored in a database, and then they're able to program that in, and it recognizes you based off of that ticket. I think there's like a built-in barcode or something to it where it knows who's on the actual, kind of like what Disney did, but I think ET actually did it before the Magic Band. But I'm not 100% certain of it. Reign of Kong, yeah, I like that ride. I just wish it was less screen-based and more.
Daddy, what are you doing?
I just like animatronics more than I like screens, but
Me too, but I mean, it's still good. I mean, and it's still a whole world better than Fast and Furious Super Dump.
Super Dump, yeah. I think they're eventually going to refurbish Fast and the Furious and do a new theme. I think I give it about 2 years and they're going to redo it or make it into another Harry Potter ride because it doesn't get a line at all unless it's like the huge crowds of like summer or spring break and such like that. I don't even know. Was it even busy when you guys went? Because I didn't even go to the studio.
I forget about Wakanda on that ride because we never really cared about it. Oh, it is that ride. We don't care about it.
Yeah, but then we have like family fun centers that might not have it. So family fun centers sometimes don't have coasters, and we could just cover like go-karts, stuff like that, whatever,
Exactly.
attractions that they have there. So it just allows us to cover a lot more things. And I think the coaster market's very overinflated. Here's how they should refurbish Fast and Furious, I reckon, Paul. They did everything right besides the ride, so they just have to redo the ride and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, don't you have a good queue line? Like, why do you weapon first for it? The queue line. The queue line's really good. It has sports cars.
Yeah. But what's your what kind of questions you guys have for us? Because we got about 30 minutes here today, and then we're gonna get off of here. Zach's actually on the other coast of Florida right now, enjoying his Christmas break, and I'm actually at home here. But
Hence my hair, because right now I'm on island time.
you guys are gonna love our logo reveal on January 3rd, though.
Oh yeah.
So,
It will make for some really good merchandise. So.
Yeah, you guys are gonna really like it. It kind of showcases everything that we're gonna cover. The only thing that it doesn't cover is probably dark rides, but that's kind of hard to encompass. But you guys will love it. What plans do we have for the 2022 season? I don't have any plans right now. Zach might have any plans. I probably won't work on my plans till probably January, February timeframe when I know more about what's going on.
Typically, my plans happen like a few weeks in advance.
My plan, 80-minute wait yesterday for Fast and the Furious. First time people probably. And I'm guessing they're probably going to ride it once and regret their decision to wait in line for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know. Some people like it. I don't think Tim Tracker was being honest when he did his video back in the day. I think it was a little bit of mix of being on a media list and such like that, because I don't feel fully that anybody's actually came off that ride and actually enjoyed it. But I disagree on that. First time I rode Fast and Furious and the last time, which was one time, there was actually a guy on there. Believe it or not, there was a guy on there that after work every single day goes to Universal Studios just to ride this ride. So I guess there are people out there that actually do love it. I don't know if maybe it's one of those, it's so bad that it's good experiences for them. Yes. So there are fans of the actual ride, very far in between. What do you think?
Well, on maybe he's riding it every day and have to see the queue line.
Yeah. What do I think about the Mummy's planned refurb that will last all summer? Well, currently, obviously, you're kind of like a mixed into like a movie set that turns into where you're actually immersed in the movie, but it could kind of be kind of confusing with the backstory and the queue line to the there is no pre-show technically. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to work on a pre-show. They might still use Brendan Fraser, but I think you're going to have I think you're going to have more of a mix of, instead of having the movie set pieces, I think you're just going to be immersed into the actual movies now. And I think they're going to kind of give a backstory of what happened maybe to people that have never seen the movie, because obviously the movie's kind of old. So I think they're going to change a lot of those elements of it. And I know they're retracking it. I'm not sure who's doing the retracking, but I've been told that they are going in there and they're replacing all the track and replacing it with
again.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're retracking it for, because I find it smooth.
And you're actually right about that. That is for Cosmic Rewind, they actually cut all the animatronics out of the budget. So animatronics will not be in that coaster at all, which I'm very disappointed in Disney, because Disney's known for animatronics. Even though I'm not a big fan of the projection faces that they've been doing lately, it's kind of the lazy way out of animatronics. It's been told that they cut animatronics out of the budget for Guardians of the Galaxy. So that makes me believe that it's going to be mostly a screen-based ride, an attraction. And the queue line, it's supposed to be huge. It's supposed to be like a planetarium type of queue line experience to kind of teach you about the universe. But if they're going to cut animatronics out of the pre-show and out of the actual ride, I think it's another big mistake by the Bob Chapek and Bob. Who's the other Bob that just left the company? Yeah, Bob Iger and Bob Chapek. I think that's a big mistake out of both of them. And I'm actually going to blame Josh tomorrow a little bit too, because I know he's in charge of Disney's rides and attractions. So I think what they're doing is cutting from the experience. Because even though Ellen's Energy Adventure was a really cheesy ride, you learned a lot on it the first time. The second time you ride it, you just fall asleep on the ride. But a 30-minute immersive experience with animatronics built in, and the capacity was crazy on it. I think what they're going to have to really... Okay, my laptop's funny. It's trying to turn off right now. Like, it's always something with this. Okay, there we go. Discount Bob is best, yeah. Bob Chapek actually wasn't in charge of all this, though. It was actually Iger. I think the misconception is that Bob Chapek's been in charge for the last 3 years, and he hasn't. A lot of the decisions was made under Iger, so I think Chapek's taken the brunt of the situation. Mike Eisner, the reason he's not there anymore is because he tried taking over the company. That's a different story, though. I've been reading some stuff on him. So Eisner was okay, but you got to understand Eisner kind of shortcutted a lot of stuff. And I mean, California's Adventure is one of those that he kind of messed up on. Iger did a lot of good things. Chapek, I think, is looking at the bottom line because Disney's still recovering from the Disney. Let's just put it that way. Walt Disney World costs a lot to operate per day, including the hotels, including the amusement park. So I think they're still trying to recoup a lot of that lost money from there.
Yeah, actually, I think Chapek even said too that he does not like being seen as the penny pinching CEO.
No, and he kind of got screwed over because you had the pandemic happen and kind of screwed over the company. I think if that didn't happen, I don't think we would have saw a lot of budget cuts at all. I think we would have saw still some budget cuts from rides and attractions, like so forth, like maybe using less crew member or team members or whatever they call them at Disney. They don't call them team members. What do they call them? Yeah, cast members. But I love how Legoland calls theirs model citizens. But I think Universal with Epic Universe is gonna totally.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the reason why the Imagineers got brought in over as well. Westcott, cough. Yeah, that got cut. Disney could have afforded it back then, but you remember back in the 90s, well, those of us that are old enough to remember, back in the early 90s and the late 80s, Disney came out with a lot of crappy movies. So until, Little Mermaid came out in the late 80s, the movies that Disney was coming out with was not making them any money at the box office. And basically, The Little Mermaid and The Lion King basically saved Disney, because before that, those movies during the Eisner era were just horrible. And you could look it up in the late 80s, but Disney was not as popular in the late 80s, early 90s as it is now. I think Little Mermaid and Lion King and all the movies that came in the 90s and 2000s saved Disney from basically collapse. And now they're, a multi-billion-dollar company because they bought out Marvel and all the other ones. But you're never going to see Marvel on the East Coast because of that unlimited deal, and Universal's probably never going to get rid of Super Marvel Land. They're probably going to improve on it, but I don't think you're ever going to see them remove it, because they know if Disney gets a hold of it, then it's going to hurt their park a little bit. So,
And there too, Westcott, I know, kind of got stalled because of the failure of Disney.
hello. Yeah. But I don't know. I think Universal does some things right and doesn't do some things right. I think both parks have pros and cons, but Universal, what they're doing here lately, like you said, they're blowing it out of the water. And I think Epic Universe, we're going to release a video on there, but there's been some leaked renderings actually of what How to Train Your Dragon might have looked like. And those are the leaked ones that didn't make it through the process. And they are crazy looking. I mean, we're talking about ultimate immersion. It makes Avatar Land look like it's not even immersive. I don't think so. I don't even think Disney wants The Simpsons. They've made a lot of cuts on The Simpsons, but I think Matt Groening actually owns the rights to it. I think Disney owns the rights to the Simpson episodes, but I think Matt Groening actually owns the rights to the trademark of The Simpsons, and he actually is able to make decisions on what park actually gets the rights to it. I think they're under like a 15 to 20 year lease on Simpsons, so I don't think Universal is going to get rid of it anytime soon. They seem to be making a killing off of Harry Potter, though. So,
yeah,
if they're really going to do anything, they're going to expand it and make London even more immersive, like the movies.
Realize this: Harry Potter is the only area of Universal to have its own bags.
That's true. I wonder if they'll take the Marvel rights. They can't. It's actually an unlimited So when it happened, Stan Lee and Marvel actually signed over rights, unlimited rights. I don't think there's an expiration on it for when Universal can't use it anymore. So the only time Universal would lose those rights if they choose to give it over, or if Disney looks at Universal and says, hey, we'll offer you, I don't know, a couple $1 billion to have the rights to have it back in our parks in Florida, which I wouldn't put it past Disney.
Yeah.
But Universal's got a lot of properties. The only thing I could say downside about Universal is that I think Jurassic Park, I love the rides over there, but I think Jurassic Park could be its own little theme park where you could have immersive rides and everything.
I mean, they could easily have a flying coaster like they have them in Japan.
Yeah. Another fun fact about that, if you guys are at Universal and you look at, you go to Islands of Adventure in Super Marvel Land, or Marvel, I don't know what the technical name of it is.
Marvel Superhero Island.
There you go. If you look at the actual drawings, it was actually done by one guy, and he actually signs his name into each of those drawings. So if you guys get a chance to, maybe I'll do a video on it and kind of show you guys his name and all the different illustrations. But yeah, he wasn't allowed to physically put his name on there, but he managed to sign his name on the bottom. So it's kind of a cool, unique thing if you ever at that area of the park. I would love to see Back to the Future come back. I would also love to see SpongeBob SquarePants get his own Bikini Bottom land. I think they need to retheme that whole entire kids area over. from what it is now. They've already removed Barney, so that's step one. I don't think anybody really knows of this generation, like of kids, even knows who Woody Woodpecker is. So I think it's time they need to rethink that. Jaws or retheme Jaws would be good. I wonder if they're ever going to redo that movie. I don't think Spielberg wants them to touch it. I would love to see them bring Jaws back. I think we have the technology advancements now where I don't think they'll run into those type of issues anymore. SpongeBob needs his own land. SpongeBob has such a big fan base. Why doesn't he have his own land? He has his own store, but he doesn't have his own land.
That's it.
Yeah, and then they give Secret Life of Pets its own. But I think who owns Nickelodeon? Paramount, and I don't know who owns Paramount. So I think that might be maybe possibly the issue right now, because Universal technically doesn't own the rights. I think they're leasing the rights from Paramount Studios right now for SpongeBob. But if nobody's going to, you know what it is? That one company that owns the Mall of Americas and the other mall over in New Jersey, they own the rights to the Nickelodeon rights. But I don't know if that has anything to do with why they don't have a Bikini Bottom or anything like that. But those two parks do have areas that are kind of themed to Bikini Bottom. So maybe that's why we haven't seen it yet at Universal too. HBO owns Paramount, and who owns HBO? I thought AT&T owned HBO now.
You're gonna find out.
I love how all these one company, all these like 5 companies own everything.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
555, who has the rights? Yeah, I think you're right on that. They do a decent job on their theming. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I like Mall of America better than the other one.
Yeah, so the owner of HBO is Warner Media Studios,
which is owned by AT&T now. So that explains everything. Somebody asked up here about, have you ever been on Ghostbusters Spectacular? No, I have not. Nope. I didn't actually go to Universal Studios until 2020, so I've read up on everything. I've watched a lot of videos. Theme Park Stop, which I definitely highly recommend her videos. Alicia Stella is amazing on her information she knows about Universal Studios. I've learned a lot on her videos. Give her a shot on YouTube if you get a chance. It's Theme Park Stop. And she's the one who believes that Harry Potter broomstick ride experience, which is going to be like a 3D ride experience where you're going to ride on a broomstick, is going to be replacing Fear Factor. And there's a lot of speculation and rumor that rumor is true. I have also heard that Secret Life of Pets is going to replace Shrek 3D.
Well, I don't care for the Shrek 3D. That's just not me. I don't care for it.
You don't care for the shaking seats?
I mean, I think Universal has too many 4D theater type rides.
Yeah. But yeah, these are just some of the things that we're going to be covering on here. So we kind of answered that at the beginning. We're changing it because we want to cover everything. We want to cover all bases. I think it gets kind of boring when you just cover coasters. Some parks might have decent coasters, but amazing dark rides or flat rides. So to judge a park just on their coaster lineup, I think is kind of asinine. But I think a lot of people, and I'm kind of a dark, like you said, like I'm a dark ride enthusiast, I'm a flat ride enthusiast, and a coaster enthusiast. So if you notice in our videos, we kind of cover everything, and Zach's kind of the same way. He rides a bunch of flat rides and dark rides too. He rode one of the cheesiest ones that we're going to release a POV on here soon. I just haven't had a chance to edit it out, but Jurassic, what was it called?
I think it's Jurassic Jungle Boat Adventure, something that it was.
Yeah.
It was one of the rides that I classify as so bad as funny.
Yeah.
It's morning time.
I think.
And then, of course, doing the POV, I had to do my thing to make it funnier.
I agree with you on that. I'm looking at Coaster Nerd Weekly, which you should come out with your own articles if you don't have them already, because that's a great name for a channel. But I think Stella or Alicia Stella's information on having like a science fair built around the premise of the Minions or, Despicable Me, I think is a better idea than replacing it with Secret Life of Pets. The reason I think it is because, like, Universal Studios, compared to Islands of Adventure, doesn't really have a designated themed area besides obviously Diagon Alley and maybe Simpsons Land. Other than that, you don't really have a designated themed area. However, I've seen what the Secret Life of Pets looks like, and the ride is very immersive, and I think it actually surpasses Disney in a lot of aspects. But I don't think it's going to fit on that plot of land. I've actually measured it out, and I don't think the ride building is the same size. I think it is actually a little bit bigger. So I think Alicia Stella's prediction of it being like a Minion expansion might be more true than the other rumor I'm hearing, which is going to be the Secret Life of Pets. Islands of Adventure probably will not change much because now their main focus is Epic Universe. Poseidon's Fury is coming back with new projections, a new storyline, and it's supposed to. This is their last attempt in fixing the ride. If it doesn't work this time, they're getting rid of it, from what I hear. So this is their last chance to fix it.
I mean, it's not even really a ride at all. It's more of a experience, somewhat so.
Well, when the best part of the experience is the water, when you walk through the water tunnel, that tells you a lot. That's the only part of the thing. The cheesy battle between Zeus and Poseidon is just it's just so stupid. They should just replace it with a new area. There's not enough room over by the Shrek area because at the back side of it's surrounded by the Transformers ride building, which in my opinion, they need to get rid of Transformers. You have the same dark ride experience over in Spider-Man, so I don't know why they would do two of the same rides with two different themes. Poseidon's Fury should have been. They had good ideas for that. I think that island over there, what's it called? Forbidden Island, or I always forget the name of that section of the park.
Lost Continent.
Yeah, Lost Continent had a lot of good ideas, but as soon as the Dueling Dragons coaster got removed, I think that kind of made the whole area kind of lose it. I think keep Mythos Restaurant, but I think retheming maybe to, I don't know. There's so many movies Universal has. They have so many properties. Obviously, the biggest fan base is Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. I'm trying to think of some other the big movies that I actually I think they own the rights. I'm trying to well, you guys all know they own a lot of different rights to a lot of different things. So.
Yeah.
But Poseidon should get replaced. Yeah, I think it's just temporary until they're done with Epic Universe, and then I think they're going to rethink it. Right now, all the money's going towards Epic Universe. So if they're going to do replacement attractions and such like that, it's not going to be anything like huge. Yeah. Plus, that show building costs so much money to build. I mean, if you look at the aesthetics of it on the outside, the outside of it is very detailed. I mean, you walk in there thinking that this ride's going to be the best ride at Universal, and it's not. But the immersion of how well they themed it makes you think otherwise. Now, the backstory is kind of stupid, but because Poseidon has a chamber now, you can watch it, the old video online. Obviously, it's going to be rethunk. I'm going to ride it still, and then I'll give like an honest opinion of it. I
don't. I thought. It is a little cheesy, but I still enjoyed it. It's a great way to get out of heat. So.
Yeah, that rumor came from Rick's Flicks, and that's not happening. I actually just got information on that. They're just redoing it kind of what they did with The Mummy. This is their last attempt. Legend of Zelda, I don't think would fit in there anyways. I think Legend of Zelda needs to go into where it belongs, which is Super Nintendo World. I think Super Nintendo World's going to have the most expansions out of all the lands in Epic Universe. So I think there's room for another park next to Super Nintendo World if you look at the actual map, and I think you're going to see Zelda fit into Super Nintendo World. I don't think they're going to want to ruin the theme of Nintendo by throwing it into another area of the park. Yeah. Just make you can't make an expansion, but it would be nice to see them just do a Jurassic Park experience, just like cut out Kong, cut out all that, and just make an actual Jurassic Park land with the Jeep ride, which was actually in the original plans, but obviously the budget dictated differently. But what other questions you guys have? We could talk about this. We could have a whole discussion about dark rides and attractions.
We can go all day on this.
I'm a big dark ride nerd, so I look at all the aspects of it. I actually ride dark rides many times. I don't understand why everything's thrown together in either of the parks, but right now it works. That's why I think Epic Universe is their idea of what they want to do in the future with their parks. But I do like the queue line of Kong, so. They could. Right now I know it's How to Train Your Dragon. I know they're doing kind of like a universe type of experience where they're going to have rides and attractions based on the universe, and then Super Nintendo World, Classic Monsters, the Harry Potter area, they have no clue what they're doing yet. Rumor is that they're going to change it over to the Ministry of Magic. And then there's another land that hasn't been there's another land as well there, but meanwhile, Disney, Epcot got cut again. I believe the complete reimagining of Epcot, parts of it have been cut out. So that whole great illustration that they showed a couple years back before COVID, I heard some of that got cut out, which I'm a little disappointed about. But I just want to see them be more educational at Epcot again. When Epcot was more educational, I feel like it was a more immersive experience. That's why I still enjoy the World Showcase, because it's still kind of like learning about different countries, customs. Since they're bringing up that area, then we can bring up the one area of Animal Kingdom. Is it going to change to the fantasy area that was originally imagined by Joe? Because remember back in the original plans, they were going to create kind of like this fantasy animal area where they're going to have dragons and unicorns and stuff like that. Is Disney going to eventually do that area over again? Time will tell, right? So
I mean, I just want them to keep Dinosaur, because Dinosaur would actually pretty good dark ride.
It is. It just needs a refurb again. I think.
Yeah.
Last time I rode it, it had a lot of the stuff in it wasn't working again. So their refurbishments haven't been on key since the pandemic. Hopefully that changes in the next,
Yeah.
But like you were mentioning with like different attractions and stuff like that. I mean, you look at like a place like Fun Spot, Kissimmee in Orlando, they have roller coasters there, but people are going there for the slingshot, for the crazy rides, which I do want to try that one ride out there that's kind of like Catwoman Whip. That's one ride I want to ride. I don't want to ride it because I like those kind of rides, but I have to experience it just for the channel. So I think when Zach gets back down here again, I think me and him are going to ride down on that thing. The one thing that's really tall and the slingshot. And then I want to go to Glenwood. I want to go to Colorado. There's that one place that Taylor Bybee rode at on Coaster Studios that launches you into that ravine. I know it's going to be terrifying. It's kind of like...
that's not at Glenwood. That's at Cave of the Winds.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. It's kind of like the Monster over at Pigeon Forge, only it launches you in a ravine instead of a parking lot, right? So
yeah, or at least Mountain Monster. They have a nice fountain down below.
Yeah, you mentioned it. So Epic is planning to go mostly high. Yeah, I've seen the plans on here. Give me 1 second. I'll bring up. I know this was mainly about changing everything, but I think you guys are going to enjoy our new content. I think the discussions are going to be much more interesting.
Oh yeah.
Now. I'm seeing it just in the comment thread. You guys seem to be enjoying the discussion. So I'm actually going to bring the leaked plans of How to Train Your Dragon.
And other than that, I did notice one cool thing in the MMQ line this past visit. And so if you stick your hand into the area that has the hologram Magi, it actually does a blast of air at your hand.
Oh, that's cool. I got a couple images here. I don't want to get on Universal's bad side, but Yeah, that's going to be a really immersive experience, though. I mean, we're just seeing some of the details of this, and it's just ridiculous. We're looking at like a flying simulator ride as well.
Oh,
These are just this is just some of the technology that Universal's been working on that's been leaked. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up here for you guys to see here. I gotta add it. I gotta add it over here. Sorry, it's taking me a second to realize how to do this again. Hold on. Was it? I guess it doesn't give me that option on here. Hold on. I'll just share my screen over here so you guys could see it. Thanks for staying with me here, guys. Give me 1 second here. So here's the site plans for it. So I'm going to bring it up here, right here. You kind of see. This was one of the simulators. And this is obviously some of the leaked plans of this. You can see it kind of looks like a catapult over here. And you have, what is this? A Gershlar?
Yeah, it's a Gershlar Skyfly.
Yeah, Skyfly. So this is one of the leaked plans of it. And then this is one of the ride systems this is from Theme Park Stop as well. She does a lot of the leaks. This is one of the leaks from one of the rides. This is some of the plans that have been leaked. These are patents that were filed by Universal. And you can kind of see right here that kind of simulates kind of like a dragon. You're flying in a dragon. So there's a lot of different things. And you can see like the plans over here. You have How to Train Your Dragon, which is going to take up over here. And then here's the theme park entrance. So it's going to be, I just can't obviously show them because I don't have access to, hold on, I think it zoomed back out here again. That's better. So yeah, it's going to be very, very, very immersive.
Oh yeah,
and
really nice.
Imagine the technology they're going to come across in the next 2 years while developing it. I don't know what she's doing back there. But Epic is Universal's dagger to take full-time vacations away from Disney. Yeah, and Disney already eliminated the Magical Express experience. So
yeah, that'll be a upcharge attraction.
Yeah. Mears is actually making it cheap though. I think like $35 round trip, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I think in like 35 per person.
It is, but if it's a single person, I guess it would be cheaper. But yeah, if you have a family, obviously renting a car or other things would be cheaper.
Oh yeah.
But you have a lot of things. So Six Flags, now there's new information coming out that Six Flags might not be doing as well as we originally thought they were. So it doesn't surprise me. They're kind of been pushing this membership model anyways. We'll talk about that in kind of a future video. I think the membership model is kind of a dumb model because it appeals to shareholders, but in reality, it doesn't really make Six Flags as much money. And I see Cedar Fair kind of going over this model too, and I don't agree with it. But I think Cedar Fair is going to kind of back off of that model. I think they kind of tested it out and realized they don't need it as much. And I think their season pass and platinum pass model was working better than the gold pass, platinum pass, and then the other one. Because the gold pass, you can only use that at that park.
Yes.
And then the platinum pass you can use everywhere. But with Six Flags, what I found weird is when we went to, and in October, I had to purchase a monthly pass. I didn't even have the option to purchase a yearly membership. I had to do a monthly option, which I think is totally dumb.
And now some parks have the yearly option.
Yeah. So those are some of the developments going on over there. And then we also had the leaked plans with the Knottsbury Farm coaster. Possibly a Giga coming to Knottsbury Farm. That's going to be 320 feet tall, but we don't know if it's going to happen, obviously. It's going to be interesting because it's how landlocked Knottsbury Farms is.
Yeah.
And there's rumor that they're going to put that in there and build a new parking garage. So if this happens, I mean, you're looking at, the tallest roller coaster next to Superman. Technically, Superman's 400 feet tall, but obviously it only goes up to like 300 when it launches. It was supposed to originally in the design, wasn't it supposed to launch up to like 400 feet originally? The Intamin Superman Great Escape.
I don't know why it's in. It kind of had a strange history almost, and I've heard about it too, but
The Orlando surf coaster, I think it's going to happen still because SeaWorld. I think it's going to happen. See, the thing with SeaWorld Orlando, the issue is that whole plot of land over there needs an attraction. So Icebreaker was their family attraction to add to it because there was a lot of complaints going on that all they had was rides for adults there. So that, Icebreaker's kind of the family attraction mixed with the Grover Kiddie Coaster. So now you're looking at the surf coaster, which I heard is going to be another family of coaster. It's not going to be as intense as like a sit-down model. I think it's going to be B&M's attempt to bring back a standing coaster model, but it's going to be kind of a more comfortable because the old stand-up coasters were not comfortable. So I think they're going to kind of create a different experience. I wouldn't doubt if the actual ride vehicle itself actually moves around like it's because you have Time Traveler that's controlled by magnets. I wouldn't put it past them to actually have like a controlled slight spin to make it feel like you're riding on an actual surfboard. So, okay, yeah, that's what I heard too. But SeaWorld Orlando is missing a couple things, and I think that'll actually fill it. But it's just odd that they're going to have 4 B&Ms in one park, which is unheard of. So, but they have a good relationship with them, so why not? And I think B&M is kind of cutting them a deal on it as well.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, I think
all they really need at SeaWorld Orlando is some flat rides.
Yeah, true. I think Busch Gardens Tampa is going to build a Giga model. I think that's going to be the park in the chain that's going to get the Giga model. Because even with Iron Gauzy open, I mean, you got to look at Giga models attract the GP more.
Yeah.
RMCs get busy, but not as busy as a B&Ms. B&Ms are capacity monsters, so I think there's a possibility you could see a Giga coaster built over at there as well. How's that going to work at Knott's though? Don't they have a height limitation in Anaheim?
I think part of it is the ability to have a hypercoaster or Giga, like all right.
347 feet. What's the drop? 320.
I heard I heard the height was 325 and the drop was 347 into a tunnel.
Interesting, a tunnel. That's a new experience. That's kind of similar to Fury a little bit.
Yeah.
But we have a couple of viewers on here. If you guys have any other questions, please let us know. We kind of went over our time on here. We were going to shoot for a half an hour, but we could talk about, like I said, we could talk about everything and anything for a while. Oh, yeah. I did not get a chance to go out to ride the tallest freestanding drop tower. I might do it tomorrow. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. But do you have anything else to add, Zach? Or
no?
All right. Thanks for joining us on this live feed. We're going to have a lot of good, interesting videos. We're going to do a lot of top 10 lists. We're going to talk about new flat rides getting released that are intense and ride experiences and stuff like that, food experiences. It's going to be an all-immersive experience. So a new video will drop down today showcasing the whole new rethemed area that's going to be going in at Six Flags St. Louis. So look for that video to drop about 6 p.m. tonight. And then myself and Zach's top 10 coaster videos are going to appear on Thursday and Friday of this week. So, yeah, thanks for joining with the chat on here. And then we'll try to do something for the new year as well when the new logo is revealed to get your guys' reaction. You guys are going to love it. So enjoy your new year. Hope you guys like the videos for the rest of the week. And hopefully 2022 is better than 2021. Have a good one, guys.
See ya.